Yeah, my name is Rick Zander, and I'm the keyboard player of Evergrey. And we're about to release a new album called Theories of Emptiness.
Beautiful, mate. Thanks for joining us this
Yeah,
afternoon.
yeah. Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. So, as you mentioned, my friend, Evergrey released your 14th studio album, Theories of Emptiness, on June the 7th. So, after so many albums, mate, 14 is a lot. Like, after so many, do you still get nervous in the lead up to a new release, or is it sort of like now, been there, done that?
Yeah, been there, done that, but I'm still we still put so much effort into every album we do. I mean, it's we always try to do our best, and we always try to top the previous albums. So of course we are very anxious to see how it's going to be received, and yeah, we're always a little bit nervous, of course, because we've been in the process for such a long time, so we really don't know. We don't have like an objective side of it yet, so it feels good when you start to get some good reviews and hear people liking it. So it
Always
feels like the
fun.
pressure goes away a little bit. Yeah.
So on that subject, man, like 14 albums is a hell of a lot, and there's a lot more songs than that over 14 albums. So do you find that the more music you write and the more music you put out, like do you find it becomes easier or harder to come up with something that sort of sounds fresh and new to you the more you write?
Well, it could be, but we always try to find new angles for every release. We try to do. I mean, we're not going to change completely. We're still Evergrey, and we're going to put out Evergrey music. But we try to find a new way of writing, maybe just to try to keep it fresh. And I think the new angle on this album is mostly that Johan, our bass player, has written a lot of music, and he hasn't done that before.
Okay.
So that naturally made it a little bit different, actually.
So tell us a bit more about Theories of Emptiness from a musical point of view, mate, and what you were going for with the sound.
We also changed the mixing guy. We had Jacob Hansen, a very good Danish engineer who mixed our last 5 albums or something. But we felt we wanted to develop in that department as well. So we had an English guy called Nolly Getgood, and that of course makes it a little bit different. And that was approach we wanted to make it a bit different, just to making ourselves more how do you say, I don't know, I can't find English words right now, but surprise ourselves a little bit. Yeah, I would say.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Along those lines, like, how would you say that this album differs musically to your previous album, A Heartless Portrait?
It's a bit hard to say. I mean, our main focus is to write good songs and do the music the best we can. And then it's always different eras of our lives, and so it naturally something new will happen. And like I said, Johan wrote a lot of songs on this album that I think made the sound a little bit different. But I mean, we're still the same guys playing the instruments, the same guys singing the songs. So you're not going to hear that much of a change. But hopefully people feel that it's fresh. Although we released so many albums, hopefully people will think this one also will have a contribution for our catalog.
An early review that I read of the album has called it possibly your best album ever. Like, and I know you're going to be biased, mate, but would you agree with that? Like, do you feel that strongly about it?
This early, it's impossible to say.
Yeah.
Because it's like when we finish an album, it's like, yeah, we think we've done our best. We think this is good. But when people say this is our best, I mean, that's nothing that you, I don't know. It's a surprise that
Yeah.
people feel that after so many albums that we still can make our best album. It feels very unreal, actually. For me, it was like, yeah, I think it's a decent album. So, so I'm a bit, yeah, I got some good tunes, you know. So so when people say things like that, I get really surprised, actually.
That's good. And the album closes with the song "A Theory of Emptiness," but there's no track actually called "Theories of Emptiness." Like, I know it's only a small discrepancy in titles, but I'm guessing that means it's the actual title of the album's got a bit more meaning because there's no song named directly after it.
No, exactly, and the whole lyric thing is more or less Tom's our lead singer. It's his area all the way. He writes like 100% of the lyrics. In previous albums, maybe some other guys have wrote some lyrics as well, but at this stage he writes all the lyrics. So it's hard for me to get into the actual meanings of those things, why that song is called and I mean, it's an instrumental, and it's called Theories of Emptiness. But yeah, it's more a question for him to answer, actually.
I'm probably just reading far too much into it. It's probably just a spelling mistake.
Yeah.
Up on it.
Yeah.
The album features guest vocals by Jonas Renksy from Catatonia. Like, why choose him as a guest vocalist, and what did he bring to the sound?
Well, it kind of a coincidence. He was involved in the Arion project, Lucas Arion, and so was Tom. So they met at the concert, at the show where they were doing together, and became kind of friends. And Tom just asked him, "Hey, what do you say? Do you want to be on our next album?" And he said, "Yeah, sure." And I mean, it wasn't more complicated than that. It was nothing that we had really didn't discuss with the band. It was more like, yeah, why not? Let's try it. We love Catatonia, and I think he likes Evergrey as well. So it was just the good timing to try it out, and I think the result was really good. It became a really nice song, and it's really cool to hear Jonas growl again. So it was nice.
Now, we sort of touched on this a little bit before, mate, but I read a quote from Tom that said, "With each album, we strive to introduce something new." So what is that something new that specifically that you've introduced for this album?
Well, if you can find something new, I would say again that it's Johan's, our bass player's contribution in the songwriting. I think that's the most new on this album, because he hasn't really written any songs on previous albums. So that was kind of a surprise for all of us as well when he introduced all those ideas. And we were like, "Oh damn, we have a full album here with ideas that you came up with." So more or less. So I think that's the new thing about this album, and that we also change the guy who mixed the album. I think that makes a difference, because we used to have Jacob Hansen for such a long time. So I think that's made a change as well.
Oh, now I'm no musician, bro, so I can't actually quite get my head around this, and I'm thinking there'll be other people out there too. But Well, when you say that, like, how can a different person writing the songs have an impact on the sound of the album?
Well, it's when you have someone who's written a lot of songs, you kind of get familiar with it, and you and when you're going to do like vocal lines and instrumental parts, it's familiar. If you have a guy who you haven't heard written a song for you before, it feels new and fresh, and you really don't know how to approach it, and that's a good thing, because then you will find something new about it. So I think that's the reason why we feel that it's a little bit new. Maybe the fans won't hear that, but for us it was kind of fresh to have that new approach.
That makes a lot more sense when you put it like that. Thank you.
Yeah.
There's an interesting sentence in the press release that says that the tracks are created to balance each other mutually. Like, what does that actually mean?
I have no idea.
It's just one of those fancy phrases publicists put in.
Yeah, I didn't write that. So I mean,
it sounds beautiful.
You all, yeah, yeah. Maybe that was it. It sounds good.
We'll just leave it at that. It sounds good.
Yeah, but of course, when you put an album together, you try to have the songs in an order that will fit for it. So, I mean, we make albums, we don't make singles.
Yeah.
So we want to the listener to feel that from the first song to the last song, that it feels like it fits together. So maybe that's what it means. I don't know.
So what's next for Evergrey after the album comes out, mate? Are they sending out on a world tour to promote it?
Yeah, we have a lot of gigs coming up. We're going to South America in a few weeks, and then we be back in Europe and do a lot of festivals, and then we have like a Scandinavian tour in September, and then we have a European tour in the fall, and that's about it for this year. Next year, I don't really know the plans, but that's about it for this year. The plans for this year.
Sounds like you better get some rest in now, mate, while you can. You got a busy ass end of the
year. Yeah, definitely. It's gonna be very busy.
Very good. All right, Rikard, thanks very much for your time today, mate. Been a pleasure speaking with you. Theories of Emptiness is out on June the 7th, and it's another cracker of an album from Evergrey. Like, you guys are one of those bands that just consistently get better, mate. I don't know how you do it, but keep doing it.